Anyone here opposed to that?
Mr. Chairman, Joe Lerch with the Virginia Municipal League, and I would say that first, the opposition that we have is still just some concerns with how this affects 15.2 of the code. I did serve on the committee with the others. Unfortunately, I missed the last meeting because I had jury duty, and that was my mistake, I guess. No, but in all seriousness, we got to hear the concerns, and we definitely recognize as a group that there's a lot of potential for agritourism. And many of our communities are starting to address this with their comprehensive plans, through Office of Economic Development. I would also like to say that thankful for the patron for hearing our concerns and addressing these in the substitute, and I think he adequately represented that. Yeah, it still probably gives us some heartburn, but it comes a long way in addressing those. My only point would be just on, if you take a look at line 16, agritourism activities as defined in 3.2.6400. That's a very broad definition, and it was written, when that section of the code it was written had to do with liability. So it really wasn't really crafted, I think, for how it relates to local land use authority. That being said, I'll say again, a lot more protections in here, a lot more discussion that we can have at the local level. I'll take this back to our members and see what they think. Now that we have this substitute before you, and I can't promise that there won't be some heartburn. Obviously, the Virginia Municipal League, we don't represent a lot of farm areas, but we do have some: Virginia Beach, Suffolk, and the like, Chesapeake, and any opportunities that if you want to hear further from us on any concerns we might have. But and at the end of the day, we recognize that this is an issue that a lot of people worked on very hard, and we hope that something can go forward that people can work with.
Thank you. Mr. any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Joe, are you speaking for the counties as well? Did they deputize you to talk for the?
No.
Larry's right there.
Yeah, Larry's. We have 10 counties, but I'll let Larry speak on behalf of them.
Okay.
We have all the cities and towns.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
interested in hearing you. But, could you again explain why 3.26400 is not really, when we're referencing that, it's when we brought it to the statute, why that might not be?
That and I'll defer maybe to Eldon James, because he was around when a lot of that was drafted. It had to do with more with legal liability, posting of your property, that if you're going to have these type of activities, you should post and make it clear that this is what's going on. And that's a perfectly reasonable section of the code to have, but when you craft it in, draw it into 15.2 when it goes to the health, safety, and welfare, and I will say, it's accurate to state that having that language in there, while it may not be clear and there may be open to interpretation, at least local governments have that. But 3.2.6400 is a very broad definition.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Does the patron have any response to that?
Good. No, and he is exactly right. When 3.2.6400 put in place, it was for liability purposes. When the ag tourism was being incorporated for wineries, though that is where they went for the situs as to, we have said for liability purposes, here are the activities that are covered. We're going to bring those in being applicable uses for farm wineries. That's been out there for a number of years, and there have not been issues with local governments having major problems. They do regulate in most instances those events where they're of multi-day duration or very large attendance events, things of that nature. But we felt, why reinvent the definition or reinvent the wheel? As this product goes forward, there's no question in my mind, local government may have some minor technical amendments. In any bill, I have never come into this process saying, it's my way or the highway. And I'm willing to accept reasonable changes that still allow me to achieve the ends of the proponents of the measure I agreed to carry the bill for. So that that's reflected in the amendment before us, and I'm still open to other specific suggestions, but I think we need to have that same power of agritourism as we've established in farm wineries for farms in general.